What's Amy up to now? I've been getting some questions, so I thought I'd update everybody and just let everybody know what I'm up to via video. It's the easiest. But I'm gonna kind of go back a little bit and tell you a little bit about myself and my upbringing. When I was young, I would have been considered a overly sensitive child and maybe strong-willed. And these weren't necessarily nurtured in me, and I lived a life that was less graceful than some, but eventually found God, and grace has taken over my life. And I would never call myself a perfect person, but having kids, I started questioning who people are and who we are beyond the bodies of ourselves and our souls and our children. And I wanted to just really know how to embrace my own kids and who they are, so that they could be who they are meant to be. And so in questioning this, I had to look within myself. And over the last few years, I've done a lot of healing and a lot of growing and a lot of meditating. And I've been a spiritual person for many, many years, having a relationship with what I would call my, higher person. And I've been praying and I've been following the Word of God for many, many years, but it's only been recently that I've been meditating and trying to listen. And this has led my life down ways that I would have never, ever dreamt for myself or dreamed. And sometimes I can't explain to people, but I've decided to just stop and just let people know who I am and what I'm all about. And so what I've been doing lately is trying to figure out ways not only to just be the best of who I am in my own life, which is a wife and a mother and a partner, and I want to be the best of who I am. But I also recognize that there is so much more to this life than our shell of what we show people, of what we take pictures and show on Instagram and Facebook, and there's a greater purpose for us all. And I recognized that looking back at my own childhood of being highly sensitive or, a very strong-willed child, why was I like that? And I recognize I have a very strong sense of right and wrong, and I have a child that's this way as well. Why is that way? We believe that we're all created for a purpose, right? And my purpose is to share truth, and I recognize that. I recognize that I have a strong purpose for what's right and wrong, and I've been sharing my truth for years with my friends and family and social, and and recently I recognized that I wanted to just dig in a little deeper, and I wanted to understand the emotions that are attached to the things that I do. And I recognized that I am what you might call clairvoyant, or an empath, or highly sensitive in the ways that I can pick up on energy from other people. I connect to people in a deeper way that I, in my past years, have been ashamed of, because growing up you hear of witches, and growing up in some of the churches you hear that it's wrong to be able to have these gifts. But knowing that I'm a strong believer in my own faith, and recognizing that I just wanted to know what my own gifts were, I wanted to figure out why. Why is it that I have conversations with people that I feel like there are messages attached to it that I don't know where they come from? And I've recognized that the more I communicate with people, either in my conversations, in my community, in my social threads, that I pick up on their energy, and I've been getting messages. And these messages come in the form of words. 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, I started writing and recognized this is a form of not only healing for me, but it's also a form of truth telling. And I write these truth messages that come through, that I would read them and say, where are these coming from? But after clearly understanding what it is I do receive messages of truth. I receive messages of truth in my writing. I receive messages of truth when I'm communicating to people. and I can sense people feel uncomfortable sometimes, and that would leave me shameful. But I also recognize I had to get to a place in my life where I cared more about loving people than I cared about being liked. And loving people is being honest and truthful. Love is truth. God says that He is the light, the truth, and the way. And so if the truth will set somebody free, why not say that truth to them or for them, and be that messenger of faith and hope. And what you can't control is the way people receive these messages, because with truth comes a lot of emotions. And what I would say I've been doing is creating a lot of emotions in some people. And emotions are good in multiple ways. One, they get us to move forward. Two, they recognize things in us that we need to heal. And three, they recognize things in ourselves that might be painful, and then we have to ask ourselves why. Why is that painful? And make the choice to move forward in a more positive way. And I believe that I evoke some of these emotions in people, and so I've had to be okay with that, because my purpose lately is to be a leader in love, and not to necessarily have to be liked, but to share the messages that I feel that I receive to the people that need them. And when I share messages, I receive messages through words, I receive messages through pictures and dreams. And when I share these, I don't necessarily know what energy they're for, because I'm picking up on energy. Unless I'm having a conversation with you, and I feel like something is coming through that I need to share with you, then most of the time it's just an energy that's felt, and I feel like I receive a message to share something, and I share it. And I don't necessarily know who that is attached to. But my goal is to hopefully reach somebody who may need to hear it, because have you ever been, somewhere where you read something and it has something to do with your life right at that moment? Maybe it's a bumper sticker, or maybe it's the front of a magazine in line, or maybe it's somebody saying something on the news, or it's a friend relaying a message to you. Those are messages. Those are our walking angels in life, and those are guides that help us to be better prepared for what our life is to become, and better prepared for us personally, for personal growth. And we have to be willing to be open to listen to these messages. And so what I believe I'm doing is just sharing messages of love, because love is truth. And so that's all I'm doing. I'm living my life, being the best person I can be, trying to hone in on my own gifts to be able to share those with as many people as I feel could use the hope, because I know I've been in places in my life and still continue to be in places where I need a little bit of hope and a little bit of push in my life to be better. So that's what's going on with me. Namaste.